This week we mark the World Breastfeeding Week, and the theme is supporting working mothers. WHO recommends exclusive breastfeeding for the first 6 months of life, and most working mothers are not able to meet this, and it is estimated that mothers who go back to work within the first 3 months, they reduce their breastfeeding time by 5 weeks. So the question for today is exclusive breastfeeding possible for a working mother? And if not, what options are there? So we have with us a lactation expert from the Aga Khan University Hospital, Nairobi, who will be taking us through breastfeeding for the working mom. How do we navigate these challenges, and what options are there for the working mother? Thank you for joining us today. So you can introduce yourself to our viewers.
Mary Wagesh Madenge are my names. I'm a lactation expert in the Aga Khan Hospital. I've been here for the last 31 years. And their babies were born when I came in 1992. I taught those babies how to breastfeed. Those babies have come back to Aga Khan and they have delivered themselves, and I've taught them how to breastfeed their own baby. So I've seen generations.
Wow.
Yes.
Thank you. We're happy to have you.
Thank you.
So right into the subject of today, let's make breastfeeding work. The major challenge I've seen for working mothers is upon returning to work, there are those mothers who stop breastfeeding. So for this working mother preparing to go back to work, what advice would you give her?
First of all, when a mother gives birth, the baby should be put on the breast immediately. Once now the stimulation of milk is done immediately, it becomes easier. And the more the baby breastfeeds, the more milk the mother gets. And actually milk production is regulated by the mother's brain. And I always tell moms, 3 B's must work together. This is the baby who sucks on the breast. Then the message goes to the brain. Then the brain produces the hormones for milk, prolactin, oxytocin. The hormones go back to the breast. And the breastfeeding policy also in Kenya says, a breastfeeding mother, once she delivers, she should be given minimum 90 days for maternity leave.
WHO recommends exclusive breastfeeding for the first 6 months of life, yeah? So if you count 90 days, that is 3 months post-delivery. So now how do you maintain exclusive breastfeeding as a working mother?
We advise mothers to start expressing any excess milk. And once the milk is expressed, if it's, let's say a mother does not have a fridge for some reason, in the room temperature, milk is good for up to 8 hours. If it is put in the normal fridge, not in the freezer, it can go up to 5 days. And the baby can still take. If it's frozen now in the deep freezer, it can go up to 6 complete months. Or what the mother needs to do is label date and time, so that first in, first out. So what we advise mothers, by the time mother is going back to work after 3 months, she should have a good stock of milk frozen. So when now the mother goes back to work, she's supposed to go back with her pump, so that every 3 hours, 3 to 4 hours, like a baby at home, breastfeeding, she should express her milk. Because the minute she stops expressing because of work, the brain senses we don't need milk. It sends signals to the breast, and before the mother knows, her milk supply has gone.
What of those mothers who work in the field? How do they maintain also, expressing milk while in the field?
What I advise the ones working in the field is to get a cooler bag or a cooler box. So at night, they can also buy some cooler packs, the ice packs. They freeze the packs in the night. When they are going to the field, they put those ice packs either in the cooler box or in the cooler bag.
And there are those mothers who do not know how to hand express milk, yeah? So maybe we could demonstrate to them how to effectively, hand express milk. Sure. Yeah.
So first of all, milk flows through ducts. All those ducts will come and open in this duct part, we call it the areola. The nipple is basically an outlet. So even when it's hard expressing, the mother should not at now, like she's the way cows are milked, that you are doing the whole breast. Milk is just basically here because it has come from the cells to here. So just using 2 fingers, just pressing here, and all what she needs is a container here, and then she just uses 2 fingers like this, just like this, like this, like this.
So maybe you could address the challenge of breastfeeding techniques. So you have mothers who do not latch their babies properly. So how do you properly latch the baby, and what are some of the effects of not latching the baby properly to the breast?
For breastfeeding to be successful, the mother and the baby must be both comfortable. And there are 3 common breastfeeding positions. There's one that we call the cradle. The other position, we call it the football or rugby, where you hold the baby from the side like this. You tuck in the baby like this, you support the head and you hold your breast from here. This is especially good for a mother who has had a cesarean section because we are avoiding the scar. Also, there is what we call the lying down, where the mother and her baby, they just lie, the mother is here, the baby is here, they face each other. Then when babies are sucking, they tend to suck in a bit of air, especially if they are not lashed well. If that air goes into the stomach, it becomes gas and it's very painful. So once the baby has finished one breast, it's important to hold the baby on the mother's chest, then like that, and just do a little massage like this, up, down. Sometimes you tap like this, 2 to 5 minutes. The baby is able to remove that gas either by a burp, sometimes they just fart it out, or baby can just decide to poo and remove everything. So I must do 2 to 5 minutes. Because if you don't remove the gas, then you let the baby sleep with that gas. It will accumulate. When it wants to come out, it comes out with milk through the nose, through the mouth, then the baby now can't breathe. But in the event that happens, what the mother should do is not panic. It's just turning the baby a little bit like this, and just do a little bit, a little bit of tap here. Then that milk comes out through the mouth and the nose. Then you turn the baby, and then just wipe the baby. Baby should never be left on the stomach to sleep, because if they do this, they can't breathe, and this is one of the causes of cot death. The side is also not good. So the only recommended position, the back of the baby goes back to sleep. So people should not fear that this will make the baby, if baby vomit, will shock. It's the most neutral position.
Thank you very much, Mary. I have learned quite a lot, and my take home is exclusive breast milk feeding is possible for the working mother. You need to put in the time, you need to put in the work, but most importantly, support is key. Support from family, support from your partner, and also support from your employer. This has been brought to you by Jubilee Health Moms Club, an initiative by Jubilee Health Insurance in partnership with the Aga Khan University Hospital, Nairobi.